Michelle, we know that regulators have already granted this emergency use authorization for remdesivir. So what's the difference here?
So Remdesivir now has full FDA approval. That means that Gilead will be able to market the drug. It can increase its price. It can reach out to hospitals, and it has full manufacturing capacity now, so it can be used much more broadly. They will continue to track the medicine to make sure that there isn't anything that's unexpectedly negative happening, but it means that we're out of the woods of having to prove that it's beneficial, and that's significant because we don't yet have evidence that it actually helps people live if they have a coronavirus.
Michelle, in terms of other therapeutics, we're also now hearing that the first controlled trial when it comes to convalescent blood plasma has showed essentially no effect either way, right? That it didn't really help sicker patients, that it didn't really prevent patients from progressing, into a more worse, or I guess from dying as well.
It is very difficult to determine how effective these therapeutics are going to be without long definitive trials. The study that you're talking about had a little bit under 500 patients, so it's pretty small. And convalescent plasma makes a lot of biological sense, but there's also a lot of uncertainties around it. This is blood from people who have already effectively fought off a coronavirus infection, and you infuse it into somebody who's just starting their battle with the hope that the antibodies and the immune system that successful person actually produced will help the new patient. So it makes sense. But a lot of these trials are just complicated because we don't know what exactly it is in the blood, which type of antibodies are most beneficial. And also, sometimes we don't even know if the antibodies are there at all. Some of the trials don't actually look for the antibodies. They just kind of assume that it's going to be there, even though we know some people don't produce antibodies. So there's been other trials that weren't blinded, that weren't randomized, that suggested a benefit. This approach won a Nobel Prize 100 years ago. We still don't have evidence whether or not it works when it comes to fighting novel viruses and other conditions. It just sounds so promising. So hopefully they'll continue the work and we'll get a final answer, but it's going to take a while.